Hey, my friends, happy Tuesday morning. I am back from vacation. My hair's still looking a little vacation-y. I'll be really honest with you, I didn't wash it a lot on vacation. Anybody else? Vacations for vacationing from everything, including cleanliness. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Hi, guys. Good morning to you. Happy Tuesday. I just got done recording a whole training for my inner circle coaching members. Hi, Julie. Hi, Ruby. And was thinking about something that I wanted to share with you guys. Hi, Christy. Hi, Mindy. Listen. All right. So we're going to talk about, I got to get comfy. Hang on just a second. Talk amongst yourselves. We're going to talk about why horses wear blinders. Do we have any horse lovers on here, first of all? I know zilch, like jack crap and nothing about horses other than Ava Grace used to take horse lessons, which scared me because, as you know, I don't like animals except my dog. Not only my dog, nobody else's dog. And so I would take her to horseback riding lessons, and it just was nerve-wracking for me because horses are big. And one of the first lessons we went to, I remember Ava said, Mom, you speak paint, but I speak horse. And I'm like, okay, now I get it. Like, I totally got it when she said that. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Christina. And so, hello, neighbors. Walking down the sidewalk. Everybody say hello, neighbors. So anyway, Ava speaks horse. I speak paint. And so once we got like that connection between her and I totally understood what was happening. But here's what I want to know. To those of you who are watching, are you horse people? And have you seen horses wearing blinders? Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like those little eye things, but they kind of look like this, like they're kind of cupping their eyes. Who knows what I'm talking about? Race horses wear blinders. How many of you saw the movie Secretariat? Those horses wear blinders. And does anybody know why? I look refreshed, Leslie. Thank you. 11 days of vacation will do that to a person. And can I just say, praise God, we've never been able to go on 11 days of vacation because Mr. Magic always worked in corporate America, and so we couldn't take 11 days off at a time. And so this was, since we retired him in April, we were able to take as much time as what we wanted to be off. And so that was super fun. By the way, if you don't listen to my podcast, and I'm getting back to the horses, Jason is my podcast guest tomorrow, and I'm a little bit nervous. Because here's what I already know. It's going to be the most popular podcast out of my 79 episodes or something. That's going to be the one that's the most popular because you guys tend to love him. I think at times more than me, but I'm trying not to be jealous of that. And so I interview him on the podcast tomorrow about being retired from corporate America. How does it feel to work with and for his wife? You guys asked a lot of questions that we answer on the podcast. Have we gained weight since he came home? The questions you guys ask are amazing. And so, yeah, we actually answered that. And so anyway, listen to the podcast tomorrow. If you don't know how to find that, go to jenniferallwood.com/podcast, or just go to the free podcast app on your phone. It's purple, and look for the Jennifer Allwood Show. Back to horses. Okay. Horses wear blinders. The reasons horses wear blinders is because it helps them so that they don't see beside them or behind them. And the reason that they need this help is because if a horse is blinderless, they also call them blinkers, by the way. I don't know why. In fact, I like the word blinkers more. It just sounds fancier, but we'll just go with blinders. So if they don't wear blinders, they are subject to turning, to distraction, and to stumbling and falling. And so here's what we can learn from this, okay? And then I was listening to this thing one time about how, and I don't know if this is true. This could be a bold-faced lie, but I'm gullible, so I believed it. So I'm passing on what could perhaps be a bold-faced lie to you guys. What I was told is that the reason horses wear blind, like how that even got started, is that there was a preacher and his friend who were daring each other to see if they could take a horse up a set of stairs. And they were able to get the horse up the set of stairs, but to try to get the horse back down, the horse wouldn't come down. It was scared of stumbling. I mean, I know there's times I'm scared of walking down the stairs and I'm not no horse. And so what the preacher figured out is if they put a sheet over the horse's eyes, then they could lead the horse, keep it on the path on the stairs that it needed to be, and then the horse would not falter out of fear. Okay, listen, you guys, there are so many analogies in this story that we as just humans, but especially us business owners, can grasp. Okay, and they are these. And let's just talk about it, all right? Number one, as business owners, I think it's so important that we understand that God has a plan and a purpose for you. He has a plan and a purpose for me. He has a plan and purpose for each of us that looks totally different than everybody else's. So for those of you who are looking at your competitors and you're keeping tabs on what they're doing and what their pricing is and how they're, putting things on Facebook and what their website looks like, stop it. Stop it. We have got to get so convinced that my path is different. This is the lane God put me in. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is the call in my life. That we don't care, honestly, what others are doing. But because we are so human in our humanness, we literally need blinders like a horse at times in order to do that. How many of you, okay, I won't even ask that question because nobody's going to say that. But in every single business, there is competition. If there is no competition, you're probably not going to have a business for long, because if it's a good business, if it's a great business idea, there will be other people in that genre very quickly, all right? It is tempting, I know, to go creeping on other people's pages, to go creeping on their website, to go watching what they're doing, but it will affect you. No, not affect you, affect you. It will affect you. It will make you feel one of two ways. Are you ready? You're gonna feel like a rock star, baby. You're gonna be like, dang, they ain't doing much. Look at me. And you'll be patting yourself on the back. Well, listen, pride becomes right before a fall. That is a biblical statement right there. So you will either feel greater than, which is never a great position for a business owner to be in, okay? Or by creeping on their page, on their site, whatever, you're gonna feel like, dang, Daniel. Dang, Daniel. Do you guys know what I'm talking about when I say that? And you're gonna feel like, wah, 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 like they are kicking ass and I'm a loser. And that's not good for you either. Can I get a yes and an amen? And Lottie, good for you for never looking at the photographer's work. There are a couple times when it's imperative that you put on your blinders and you don't look at what anybody else is doing. When you are getting ready to launch something into the online space, you're getting ready to write an ebook, you're getting ready to write a book of any kind. When you're getting ready to come out with some new content, you especially need to put your blinders on in that time. Because even though we don't mean to be, we are affected by this stuff and influenced by the things that we're consuming. And I know in a world where there are copycats runneth over, you guys, it's so important that we quit looking at everything that everybody else is doing so that the stuff we're doing is really unique to us. And it's God's best for us and not a carbon copy of our neighbors or our competitors or our coaches or our mentors. Does that make sense? You have your own race that you need to be in. And you need to focus on your own lane and staying right there. I had notes. I had notes about peripheral vision. I can't spell peripheral though, so it took me a second I was like, what did I say? I said peripheral vision. Peripheral vision. There are some of you that are in Facebook groups, whether they're paid coaching groups, whether they're free groups or whatever, but you have ideas. You have like this gut feeling on how you want to do some things, but you haven't seen anybody else doing it that way. And you stay in those groups with people that appear to be successful. They may have huge Facebook followings. Listen, friends, that is a vanity matrix. This is what that means. It means that sometimes people can have big numbers, but it's not equaling big dollars. And big numbers also don't mean big influence. So never get it twisted, okay? You can have a very small following and a huge influence. Look at Jesus Christ himself. Bingo, ding, 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 ding. Okay, and so there are sometimes I think we stay with people and we stay in groups where there appears to be success happening, and literally it's just numbers. And you have this inkling, this thought of doing something different, but you don't see anybody doing it different, and you're not sure if you do it different, if you're going to be a big fat fail, and so you don't. Listen, that nudge from the Lord, listen, that is Here's for those of you who are like, what does it feel like to be nudged by the Lord? Here's my very best example. And thank you guys, by the way, for sharing this. I appreciate you so much, more than you can imagine. The Facebook algorithm has gone sideways lately. And so every time you guys share something of mine, right now it's the very best thing you can do to bless my business. So thank you for that. But here's what a nudge from the Lord will feel like. I can remember back in junior high. We've all been in junior high, right? So when in our junior high in the town of Mobile, Iowa, where I grew up, we had dances in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade in the junior high gymnasium, and they were the shiz. I mean, they were the cat's meow, the bee's knees, and all that in a bag of chips. We loved going to dances. I am ridiculously shy. For those of you who I met in Mexico last week, yes, there was a handful of you that I met in Mexico, including, I'm getting totally sidetracked. Don't let me get sidetracked. So I'm in Costa Maya, Mexico, and I have what was my best meal in Mexico of street tacos and a margarita. And so I'm walking out like back to the cruise ship, and there's people, you know, scattered everywhere, and they're snacking and they're watching street performers and they're shopping, whatever. And I see these two ladies, and if one of you's on here, I'm just gonna fall out and die. And so so I'm walking by this table, and the ladies were having the same margarita that I just had. And I promise you guys, I never talk to strangers. I'm ridiculously shy and awkward in real life. And so, and I just kind of clam up, and I'm a watcher of the people, and I say nothing. Total introvert. Can anybody relate? And so usually when we're walking, Jason's the one that's like talking to strangers, he's making conversation. Oh no, the one time I make conversation, I say to these two precious women, oh my gosh, is that not the best margarita you have ever had? And these two women, I kid you not, in Costa Maya, Mexico, are like, they are so good. And I'm like, right? And they're like, oh, by the way, we follow your Facebook page. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Oh, are you kidding me? I bring up margaritas to total strangers, and they're on my Facebook page. So funny. I mean, because that's not what I would want to lead with in a conversation with my Facebook fans, would be margaritas. Does that make sense? And so, I mean, there's no shame in my margarita game. It was one, and that was it. But it was just funny. Anyway, here's what a nudge from the Lord feels like. So you're at a junior high dance, and there's kind of somebody that you want to ask to dance, but you're chicken. And your best friend's like nudging you, like my friend Donnie Sue or my friend Rachel. And she's like, go ask him to dance. And I'm like, no. That's what a nudge from the Lord feels like an elbow. Like, come on, girl. And you're like, no. And God's nudging you, come on, girl. And you're like, no, I'm too scared. I'm too scared. And then once you finally do the thing, you realize, what was I so stinking scared about? I'm so glad I did the thing. Okay, that's what a nudge from the Lord feels like. And some of you have got that nudge from the Lord going on, but because you are looking to the left and looking to the right, and you're looking behind you because you're not wearing your blinders, and you're looking behind you even to see who's behind you, you are distracted. Distracted. That's my word for somebody on here today. I'm glad you like that, Holly, because sometimes I think that when we as believers talk about like, and I heard from the Lord and the voice of the Lord, and while that's all true and dandy and and very real, I feel like that isn't the case for most people. They won't hear an audible voice, or they will hear a voice in their mind and try to convince themselves that it wasn't the Lord that they just heard, that it was just their own brain working overtime. How many creatives work like that? And so I think often we'll feel that nudge, that holy nudge from heaven, that little elbow, that come on girl, that's a nudge from the Lord. And a lot of you have that in your business, and you're not trusting your own instincts. And you've got to put on your blinders, so that you're not distracted by what this person's doing and this person's doing and this mentor told you to do and this coach told you to do. Listen, I was telling the people in my inner circle this morning, it does not matter what I tell you to do in your business at the end of the day and the beginning of the day. You best be doing what you feel like God is calling you to do in your business. Ain't no advice from me tops that ever. So when the Lord's given you those little nudges in your business, put on your blinders. Quit creeping on people's pages. Quit looking at their website. Quit looking at what they're doing and then thinking that if you just twist it a little bit and do it yourself, that you'll have equal success. Your path is completely different. God's got something only for you that only you can do. And there are times when, and if you guys have not read this blog post and heard this podcast from me, I did a whole podcast episode and a blog post on just feeling average. Because if I look to other people in my space, I promise you every day of the week, I will end up feeling average and lesser than. And what did I tell you? When you are looking at other people's stuff and you forget to have your own blinders on, you're either going to feel more superior than, which is the fastest way to fall flat on your rump shaker, or you're going to feel lesser than. And that's protecting your self-confidence as a business owner is so imperative. Sorry, coming in. It is so hard as a business owner when things tend to go like this to stay really confident, right? It's hard to like constantly get yourself up in the morning and be like, all right, I got this, babe. I mean, there are times, you guys, when I walk around my house and I say things like, I am smart, I am pretty, and people like me, dang it. And you can ask the women that used to work for me. They will all tell you I would say things on a job site like that because I would constantly be put in situations where I'm like, I don't know what to do. Somebody tell me what to do. Why is everybody looking at me what to do? I don't know what to do. Do you know what to do? I don't know what to do. So your confidence, not even in your abilities, but in God's ability working through you, your confidence has to be so protected because the world is going to tell you you're not good enough. The world is going to tell you you're never going to make it. Your own head crap's going to tell you that you're not cut out for this. You may be living in the same home with people who tell you, babe, you're never going to be able to do this thing. Protecting your confidence starts with putting on blinders, not listening, not looking. La, 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 la. There you go. Hi, Lily. You're having iced coffee. I'm having spinach, protein powder for my friend Carrie Robina, coconut oil because they say it makes your skin look good. How's it going? And spinach because #margaritas. So, let's see. Yep, Shanna, your confidence has to be protected. Has to. And let me tell you what's going to happen when you work on protecting your confidence. People are going to mistake that for arrogance. People are going to stab you in the back, or try to, because unconfident people always feel better running with unconfident people. So when you take yourself out of that scenario and you put yourself over here and you put your blinders on, you run the race the Lord has put before you, it's going to look to other people like, who does she think she is? Who does she think she is? And that's when the chatter starts and the backbiting starts. And that's, again, when you have to put on your blinders and you have to go, okay, Lord, their opinions of me do not matter. My reputation, Lord, is up to you. You alone will withhold that. You see everything. You are a fantastic accountant. You will make right of the wrongs. But in the meantime, I've got on blinders and I'm doing what's set before me. And that is seriously the only thing you can do. So bless you guys. You're amazing. Beverly, people can be mean, but it's up to us to determine how we're going to take their meanness. I had a lady on Instagram this week tell me that my blonde hair looks like a bimbo. Talk to the hand. Like it's up to us to decide, all right, are we going to let that affect us or no? Are you so convinced of what you're doing that you can have a straight line of people behind you who are against you, but you'll continue otherwise? I mean, that's how sold out we need to eventually get on our future. And I know for me, a turning point, the point when I did the best job of putting on my blinders is when I knew what God was calling me to do. I knew I had a line of people that were not on board. I knew I had a gang of them against me, but I reminded myself with scripture that more are actually for me than against. And I don't know where that's at in the Bible, but here, let me look up the scripture reference for you, because I put it on a 4x6 recipe card, and I put it behind my bathroom sink where I would have to read it every day when I brushed my teeth. So More are for you than against. I believe it's in Isaiah, but let's see. Nope, it's in 2 Kings. 2 Kings 6. Do not be afraid, for for those who are with us are more than those who are against us. So there you go. Oh, thanks, Dee. I don't care what people say about my hair, whatever. Beyond Blessed. I can tell you what's happened to our society, Beyond Blessed. People are very easily offended. And they also are keyboard warriors. So we've got this thing, and we've got this thing. And we've turned into, unfortunately, a society that wants to communicate via those two methods versus the intended form of communication, which is through the mouth. Because so much gets lost in this and in this. Context is lost. Emphasis is lost. Compassion is lost. You can't feel compassion when you're reading a text usually. And so people want to communicate in those ways. And unfortunately, the more our world moves in the direction it's moving, it's my belief, unless there's a shift, that verbal communication skills will continue to go downhill. So, we're having conversations with my boys at this point. We don't ask girls out via text. We don't break up with chicks via Snapchat. Don't be a butthead, boys. Come on, moms. Can somebody, right? And so it starts with our modeling, though, as parents. It starts with us modeling. Are we willing to have hard conversations, mouth to mouth with people? That right there was my daughter calling me, probably from the upstairs. Why, Lord? Why? And so I think as parents, we need to really be better models a lot of times than what we are. We use this and this to try to wound and hurt people. Whether that's through sending texts, sending emails, anonymous comments on Facebook pages, whether that's I'll unfriend you on Facebook, whether that's I'll block you on social. If this as parents is the way we behave, how are we even remotely surprised when our kids do the same thing? So, all right, guys. Holly says her youngest broke up with a girl on Snapchat last year. Holly, look, babe, no judgment here. We are all in this together. It's funny, I had a mom's pool party a couple weeks ago, and my friend Shauna and I, and the whole group of girls, we were all talking about how, and Shauna brought this point up, and I never really considered it, but this is so true. We are the first generation of parents raising kids in a social media world. We're the first generation of parents that's had to go through, how much time is too much time? What are we going to allow you to have access to? What are we going to protect you from? Does that make sense? Like my parents, we didn't have social media. Lord, we didn't even have a computer until I went to college. That shows you how old I am, 47 last week. So we're the first generation of parents that are trying to raise children in a world inundated with social media, and our example is huge. Our example is huge. And so we can't expect our kids to do what we say. We can expect them to model the behavior that we ourselves are showing them. If you think your kids are on their screen time way too much, you might examine your own habits. If it annoys you that your kids get out of bed and they're instantly going to Snapchat, you might just look at your own habits. Do yourself, roll over and grab your phone first thing out of bed. No judgment here. I'm just saying, when it comes to kids, please somebody tweet this. More is caught than taught. So it doesn't matter the stuff that I say out of my mouth. It matters the things that we're modeling for our children. And so modeling for them good behavior online is so critical. And good behavior online also includes putting on our blinders to the things that God doesn't want us to concern ourselves with. It's putting on blinders to the chatter that may be going on around what we're doing. It's putting on blinders to our competitors. You let them do what God's calling them to do. You do what you're supposed to do. His plan for you is so much better than your plan of doing it like somebody else. Does that make sense? Hey, Kimberly, I get it, girl. It's so tempting. One tip is to plug your phone in another room. That helps so much. And so there you go. So yeah, Holly, we took a social media break for a while when we were on our vacation, when we were out of the country. It's so much easier when there's not Wi-Fi. And so it was a great break for us. We had Wi-Fi at a couple of the ports, but so, all right, bless you guys. I just love being back here with you. And again, thank you for sharing this. When you guys share my posts, it's literally the very best thing you can do to my Facebook page right now because the Facebook algorithms are wonky. So thank you to every one of you who shares this. And I will tell you, we have something fun that's about to go down on my Facebook page in the next week or so. And as soon as the change happens on my page, I'll come here live and talk to you about it and show you how it's going to work. But please watch. Please stay tuned because I'm pretty stinking excited about it. So I'm actually working with Facebook's like home office on something fun. So bless you guys. I appreciate you, and it's good to be back and rested and ready for Q4. I did see that somebody said, when is Creators Roadmap reopening? Honey, not until 2019, but my inner circle will be opening in the fall, and so if you want to go, will somebody type this in? JenniferAllwood.com/inner circle. You can just get on the email list so that when it does open up, you will get an email from us. So there's that. All right, bless you guys. You're amazing. And for those of you who said you just missed it, Cindy, you can always watch the replay, okay? You're so welcome, Jason. Thanks for being here. And don't forget to listen to the podcast tomorrow, where I interview my own husband, Jason, about quitting corporate America and what it's like to work with and for your wife. I think it's funny. We actually, okay, between us right here. So we had to restart that podcast. I actually said it at the beginning of the podcast 3 times because we got into a little tizzy at the beginning of the podcast. And we got into a little tizzy because both of us sometimes like to wear the pants. And so when we both started the podcast, I was going one way, he was going another. I was zigging, he was zagging. We just weren't gelling at all. And I'm like, stop. And then I had on my pissy pants, and then he got on his pissy pants, and then take 3. So take 3 is really good for you guys. There you go. That's the honest to goodness truth. All right, love you all. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.